Dr. Adrian Bell was a respected psychiatrist. Nicole Granger was a bright young intern with a promising future. A rusted industrial mental health evaluation box, long discarded and forgotten behind the closed-down Elkhurst Psychiatric Hospital, began to leak. No farewell letter, no financial trail, no trace. Still, no one expected the hospital's legacy to include hidden murder. And why go to such extremes to hide the body in a place that would one day rot open? Records revealed cracks in his polished image. Several patients under his care had filed complaints ranging from emotional manipulation to unethical isolation treatments. But now, with Bell's corpse discovered in an actual mental box, that accusation suddenly felt chillingly literal. The nurse, Miriam Lowe, claimed in her statement that she had once heard screams coming from the lower storage halls. What she revealed shifted the entire case. She found Bell locking a young intern inside a small evaluation box for a test in extreme confinement. When she confronted him, he warned her to stay silent. They argued, and he threatened to sue her for libel and blackmail. She shut the lid, thinking he was unconscious and needed time to cool off. But she never opened it again. She ran. The sedative dose, the airtight seal, and the time locked inside had turned Bell's own methods against him. He died the way he had tormented others, suffocated by confinement. Dr. Bell, once revered, had fallen victim to the same cruelty he inflicted. The mental box, once a symbol of control, became his tomb. And the crumbling psychiatric hospital, already decaying in silence, now carried the weight of a chilling irony. A scuffle broke out. She shoved him, and he hit his head on the iron edge of a desk. Bleeding but conscious, Bell lunged at her. Acting on instinct, Nicole injected him with a sedative from a nearby tray left over from the hospital's unused inventory. She resigned shortly after. That intern Nicole Granger had left Elkhurst weeks later and never been heard from again. However, Clarence Doyle had died in 2012, a year before Bell's disappearance. One name appeared frequently: Clarence Doyle, schizophrenic patient institutionalized after a violent outburst involving his sister. But because Bell had been engaging in illegal, unlicensed experiments, and because Nicole had technically been defending herself in a confrontation with a dangerous figure, prosecutors offered a plea deal: reckless manslaughter, suspended sentence. The case would remain controversial. Whether it's guilt, ghosts, or just wind slicing through rusted walls, no one dares go near the old storage basement anymore. Forensic teams carefully extracted the remains, noting that the body had not decayed naturally. After the hospital's closure and Bell's increasing paranoia that someone would leak his experiments, Nicole broke into the facility. Not to expose him, but to scare him into confessing. What happened that night changed everything. The chamber was lined with foil insulation and silicone gel packs deliberately designed to preserve the corpse. He believed this helped rewire trauma. Nicole had been one of his test subjects. She only escaped after faking a seizure, which forced Bell to open the door. She quit immediately, fearing exposure and professional ruin if she spoke out. Autopsy confirmed foul play. Dr. Bell had been sedated and suffocated before being entombed. The case had made minor headlines back then, filed away eventually as a presumed runaway or suicide. But this discovery flipped every assumption upside down. Someone had placed him in that box and sealed it shut. When a groundskeeper investigated the source, he was hit with the unmistakable stench of death. Inside the box, designed decades ago for solitary psychiatric assessments, was the mummified body of a man. But this wasn't just any derelict cadaver. This was the missing Dr. Adrian Bell, once chief psychiatrist at the facility. But when their paths crossed inside the crumbling halls of Elkhurst Psychiatric Hospital, a horrifying secret was born. Years later, Dr. Bell's body was found sealed inside a mental evaluation box, his own invention for isolating patients. The question wasn't just who killed him, but how many others had nearly met the same fate before one intern fought back. Asterisk. On a rainy October morning in the small town of Elkhurst, Pennsylvania, something deeply unsettling surfaced literally. Dr. Bell had vanished 12 years earlier. The town was jolted awake. Elkhurst Psychiatric had closed in 2013 after a wave of patient abuse allegations and questionable deaths. Investigators now faced two puzzles. Who would have killed a man seen by many as a respected figure in mental health? Detective Isla Harmon, assigned to the cold case, dove deep into Dr. Bell's past. Clarence had accused Bell of trapping souls in boxes. At the time, it was dismissed as delusion. Digging further, Detective Harmon found a sealed deposition from a nurse who had worked the night shift during the hospital's final months. Tracking Nicole down became the next focus. She had changed her name and relocated across the country. Reluctantly, she agreed to speak with Harmon. Nicole said Bell had been conducting unofficial mental fortitude experiments on select interns and patients, locking them in isolation boxes under high-stress stimuli, sometimes for days. But the twist came next. Nicole hadn't just left. She admitted she had returned. According to Nicole, she confronted Bell in the storage basement, where he kept the old evaluation boxes. Bell slumped. In a panic, Nicole dragged his body into one of the boxes, the same one he had once locked her in. Nicole never intended to kill him, she claimed, but the reality was far more gruesome. Detective Harmon was stunned. Nicole's story matched the physical evidence, but the town of Elkhurst was left haunted. As for the box, it was destroyed. But some say on foggy nights, screams still echo through the ruins.